IT business analysis is practiced at three distinct levels within any organization: targeted, tactical, and strategic IT business analysis. The impact of disrupting technology will be different for each level. Let's start down in the trenches where the majority of IT business analysis work is done by people with a variety of job titles. During software development and maintenance, targeted business analysis ensures that an evolving IT solution meets the evolving needs of the business community. It starts with a set of epics, user stories, user requirements, stakeholder requirements, and so on that were developed by tactical business analysis. As the product evolves, you're busy ensuring that each added feature complies with the ever-changing business community's needs and wants. If the product is a purchased software package, you need to analyze how to manipulate the package's configuration to meet the stakeholder desires. If the product is being developed, whether it's in-house or out-house, you're going to discover, track, analyze, and work with user stories or stakeholder requirements to identify functional and non-functional solution and transition requirements that you can give to the developers. If you're working at this level, I'd be very surprised if you were not now or soon will be taking advantage of data analytics in your day job. The value that ITBAs deliver is using the right set of tools to interpret the models and the data correctly to extract business intelligence. If you're involved with a machine learning initiative, your job will most likely involve working with the business community to determine what the app should learn. You're going to define what kind of fish should be in the data lake to allow the app to learn the right things. If you're involved with AI projects in today's world, it's most likely going to involve chatbot development, since that is the most widespread use of AI technologies in the real world. And I'm going to talk in depth about that technology later. Tactical business analysis starts with a loosely defined product or project that has been sanctioned by the organization. You're going to deliver a somewhat robust definition of that proposed product or project to the targeted business analysis folks. You might get a project charter defining the high-level business requirements. Or in a lean and agile environment, you're most likely going to get a vision statement or a feature list that defines the product purely from the business perspective. Your primary responsibility is to elicit and capture the epics, the user stories, user requirements, stakeholder requirements, or whatever you call them, that define the specific needs or wants of individuals and groups of stakeholders. These outcomes feed, like I said, the targeted business analysis phase. You provide effective communication between those affected by the change, which is the business community, and those responsible for inflicting the change. Those are the developers. Now, when and where this communication takes place and how you express the results depends on the system development methodology, or SDM, that the project follows. From a data science perspective, you're more likely interested in the outcomes of diagnostic and/or predictive analytics. This information drives organizational change. To take advantage of the deluge of data available to you, you probably need to be good at reading visual models like charts of all kinds, diagrams, data models, graphs, spreadsheets, and dashboards. That means if you have not already done so, you'll presumably either need to learn business analytics or you're going to spend a lot of time with data analysts. And either option is really great because your job is still to ensure that the defined products or projects align with the defined product vision or project charter. The same is true if you're involved with any initiative related to AI. Requirements are always essential. If you are fortunate, or unfortunate, depending on your perspective, enough to be involved with strategic IT business analysis, congratulations, you've reached the epitome of your career. Just kidding, actually. This activity is most often performed by folks with job titles like CIO, IT director, senior BA, business architect, system architect, or something similarly impressive. However, it's not unheard of that people with the job title IT business analyst, IT analyst, business analyst, or something like that are called upon to work the magic. Those of you acting at this level within the organization need to understand the potential each disrupting technology offers. And you're trying to answer three simple questions. Number one, How could this disruptive technology impact our organization? Strategic ITBAs are consumed with vision statements, mission statements, and core values that they have to create. Number two, how can this emerging technology help contribute to our corporate objectives or goals? The answer to that question is going to require significant investment in drilling down on each technology individually to ferret out its specific potential. And question three, which projects, products, or initiatives should we invest in to be prepared for future changes? Data science and machine learning are solutions. They're methods for answering questions that we could not answer without them. The job of the strategic ITBA is to figure out which questions those technologies can answer better than the technologies we have used up to now. To answer many of these questions, you're probably going to be leaning heavily on data scientists or data analysts and the business analytics in order to make the right decisions. If you haven't already, you're going to be entering a universe of TMI, or too much information. You got to learn new tools and techniques to extract actionable business intelligence. It really sounds to me like a fun time to be a strategic ITBA. And by the way, since communication is the bread and butter of every ITBA, you might be interested in the speech recognition software aspects of ANI. Since you speak faster than you type, creating documentation would be more efficient if you could just dictate the requirements or user stories or whatever, and let a voice recognition application capture the infinite wisdom. Just imagine how much fun work would be if your computer actually understood you. Now, the greatest news that I have to share with you is I'm actually bullish on the future of ITBAs in a world that includes data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and even other evolving technologies. Why, you ask? Well, I'll go back to the modified definition of what we do. To paraphrase, IT business analysis is the practice of enabling change in an organizational context by assessing an organization's structure, procedures, technology, and capabilities to identify and define solutions to roadblocks that impede the achievement of organizational goals. Now, organizations, like humans, evolve to survive in the environment in which they exist. And evolution is constant change and constant changing needs. We analyze situations, we weigh the pros and cons of various potential solutions, and we define the requirements for optimizing the outcome of change. Sounds to me like a description of what an ITBA does. Obviously, there's not enough time left in this year, let alone this presentation, to delve into detail on how we're going to approach that awesome challenge that is posed by each of these disruptive technologies we're talking about. I can, however, use a relatively simple example, and I've chosen an ANI that you're more likely to be confronted with in the near term as an example for a deep dive.